Hello everyone, this is Mr. Brain Junkie here, and today we'll be talking about a monster film called Grabbers. Be ready for some spoilers ahead. Somewhere in the outer atmosphere of the Earth, an asteroid is heading directly for the oceans of Ireland, eventually crashing into the water. A fishing boat notices this as they go forwards to investigate, and their crew member is immediately attacked by something from below the ship. They rush towards their friend to find out what happened, but only to see human blood on the railings. Very soon, the captain gets attacked as well right in front of his son, leaving only the boy behind on the entire ship. With no other choice, he decides to confront the monster to avenge his family, but is quickly killed by the creature from above. The next day, while taking a morning stroll, the town doctor Jim notices something strange on the beach as he sees the body of multiple dead whales lying on the sand. He notifies the authorities immediately, and the police captain Kieran goes alongside his constable Lisa to investigate the cause of the dead animals. They meet the local marine ecologist Dr. Smith, who tells them that these pilot whales are most likely killed by the multiple cuts on their body. However, the animals' wounds were all inflicted inside the ocean and were only washed up onto the beach afterwards, meaning that something very large must have killed the creatures. On the other side, a fisherman called Paddy notices something very strange inside his lobster cage and decides to show off the mysterious creature to his friend Murphy. The animal appears to be very aggressive as it squirts all over the man's face, but Paddy doesn't seem to be scared at all as he brings the monster back to his home. The man throws the animal into his bathtub and plans to keep the creature as one of his pets. Later that day, while cleaning up the whales on the beach, the contractor tells one of his workers to go grab the leftover tools in the sand. The man runs towards the water, and before he grabs the items, he notices something very strange, which appears to be very large eggs that are buried inside the sand. Before he can figure out what the things are, the man is grabbed onto by something very powerful as he gets dragged across the field and pulled into the ocean. The contractor goes back towards the beach after getting tired of waiting for his friend, but only sees a shovel on the ground and nothing else remaining. At night, one of the local fishermen, Murphy, begins hearing a knocking from the outside and goes to check on his door, only to see the contractor acting strangely with a dead serious face. The man is very confused as he sees the contractor doing what appears to be a dance in front of his house, but quickly falls over onto the ground. Murphy rushes outside to check on the man, but is quickly taken away right in front of his wife, causing the woman to run immediately as she hears screaming of her husband on the roof. When everything appears to have settled, she begins moving slowly towards the fireplace, which is the only way into the house. She tries to close the chimney to block out the creature, but is quickly grabbed onto right away and gets pulled out from the building. On the other side, the fisherman has returned home while getting drunk at the same time. He decides to check on his new pet in the bathtub, but is shocked to find out that the cage has been broken by the animal. The man looks around for the creature, but is only able to find sticky liquids on the wall, which is clearly not his own. Suddenly, he notices the tentacle monster behind him, which attacks the man immediately while trying to suck out his blood. The creature jumps towards Paddy as it tries to give him the most terrifying French kiss in his life. Surprisingly, the man is able to knock off the monster as he beats on the animal until it stops moving. The next day, Paddy goes towards the police officers and tells them about the strange creature that attacked him last night, which is now being examined by Dr. Smith. Paddy thinks that they should call the animal a grabber since he was the one who discovered it. The doctor disagrees completely as he wants to scientifically define the creature, but is surprisingly unable to as the animal's physiology is very alien. What's even more strange is that the doctor has difficulty telling whether if the animal is still alive, as it seems to revive almost immediately when it makes contact with enough water. Smith also reveals to his friends that the creature is in fact a female, as he was able to find an egg inside the monster's body. The police officers decide to investigate this further as they drive by the beach, and Kieran immediately notices that the contractor's car is still there. They head towards the vehicle and is shocked to find out that the keys are still in the car, making them realize that the contractor never went home. The two decides to check out the nearest house where Paddy's fisherman friend resides and immediately recognizes that something is off. All the lights in the building are still on in the morning, but no one seems to be home. Lisa discovers a piece of shingle that has fallen onto the ground, which makes her climb the ladder to check the roof, and the woman is shocked to find Murphy, who has been eaten alive. They bring the body to their local doctor, Jim, and the man is speechless upon seeing the victim, telling the police officers that a very large animal is likely responsible. Their conversation is interrupted by Patty, who brings them even stranger news, as the man's house was broken in and his bathtub was thrown into the yard. They take out the map to try to find a pattern, and Patty tells them that Murphy was spit on by the female grabber before he was killed. Kieran realizes that the other animal must be a male, as it was likely looking for the female creature and destroying everything that was in the way. Lisa wonders how the monster can move on land, as it requires a lot of water to survive, but Patty tells them that it was raining every time that the creature attacked. Kieran thinks that the grabber's nest has to be somewhere nearby as it needs access to water, and it turns out that there is only one cave that's right by the ocean. The people go there immediately to find the monster before it kills any more civilians, while Lisa criticizes her partner for drinking in such dangerous situation. They find the entrance of the cave, and Patty stays behind while the two police officers head inside to investigate. They go into the rocky tunnel, eventually arriving towards an area that has clear access to water, and they're able to find the clothing that belongs to the fisherman. Before they can explore further, a giant tentacle monster appears right behind the two, causing them to run immediately for their lives. Luckily, they're able to make it outside the cave before the creature catches them, and are shocked to see how big the monster is. They rush towards Patty and tells the men to run immediately, eventually making it back to the laboratory where they're keeping the female grabber. Kieran begins pouring gasoline on the creature, while the doctor tells him to stop right away. The man lights the animal on fire, but causes the sprinkler to turn on immediately, which ends up wetting the creature instead. Seeing that things are obviously about to go wrong, Patty decides to leave his friends, while the others rush towards the plumbings like a bunch of minions as they try to shut off the water. The sprinklers are eventually disabled, but not before soaking the creature completely as a result. The people look at the monster in fear, not sure whether if the water has revived the creature, as they slowly approach the monster while grabbing the most ridiculous weapons. The people look at the animal carefully, but suddenly it squirts on the man's face before jumping in to aggressively cuddle with his head. Kieran struggles to try and get the creature off as he stumbles around and knocking everything onto the ground. He's eventually able to find a shovel and begins hitting his own head, while his friends manage to grab onto the animal and try desperately to pull the creature away. Surprisingly, they're able to throw the grabber into the air and finally allowing Kieran to breathe, while the creature appears to be sick as it spits out the man's blood. They go towards the monster right away and begins hitting the creature altogether, trying to make sure that the grabber can never harm anyone else. Patty comes back when all the fighting is done, while Kieran questions how the old man was able to survive the attack from the creature before. The main character quickly realizes that Patty was drunk just like he was before the grabber attacked him, and theorizes that alcohol must be a deadly poison for the creatures. The man conjures up a plan to save everyone in town, as there'll be a storm coming tonight, which means that the grabbers will be able to come on land to hunt for their prey. However, his plan is quite ridiculous in nature, as it involves getting all the people drunk in the bar so that they're too toxic to be devoured. They try to test out the theory by first getting Lisa as drunk as possible, which they're able to do almost immediately after giving her the special alcohol of Patty's. The people then take out her blood and allows the creature to consume it, causing the grabber to shake violently as it dies very painfully, proving that Kieran's plan may actually work. They go towards the church where all the people are gathering, and Kieran offers everyone to a party at the local bar. Although the people are hesitant at first, they quickly agree to the invitation after hearing that free unlimited alcohol will be available, causing even the father to hang up his robes. Later that night, the rain begins to pour down as the storm approaches the town, and the people begin to party inside the bar, not realizing the danger that they're in. Kieran goes alongside his friends to prepare them for a fierce battle against the grabbers, but the weapons that the people chose to use are clearly influenced by their intoxication. What's even worse, the bar owner decides to fight the monsters by using his nephew's water gun, thinking that he can turn it into a flamethrower by filling it with gasoline. With no other choice, they decide to use everything that's available as they have no more time to prepare any further. The civilians continue their drinking, while the people guard the doors to make sure that no one leaves, but their capabilities are very questionable as they're very intoxicated as well. The police officers guard over the bar while hiding inside their car, and Lisa begins flirting with her boss as she tries to get some aggressive cuddling with the aid of alcohol. However, the man rejects her immediately, not wanting to pay for any child supports in the future. At the same time, the doctor begins running into some bladder problems as the bathroom is being occupied by a couple that's doing some bedtime exercises. This forces him to rush outside the doors as he desperately tries to relieve himself in the ring, not realizing that a bunch of little creatures are quickly surrounding the man. Jim turns around and freezes in shock as he sees numerous little monsters approaching the bar, while the creature screams furiously towards the man. The police officers rush out immediately after hearing the scream of their friend as the man is being devoured by the baby grabbers. Lisa begins knocking the creatures away while Kieran tries to pull the monster off the man's face, eventually managing to remove the creature and throws it away like an angry chihuahua. Before the people can recover from the attack, they begin noticing something horrifying from behind as the gigantic monster approaches them and grabs onto Jim while pulling the man away. The people watch helplessly as the creature surrounds their friend and eventually devours the man in a single bite, causing them to run away in fear. The police officers run into their car to hide from the massive enemy as Lisa tries to start the vehicle but is too drunk to figure out how to drive. The grabber quickly surrounds the two as it tries to tear the car into pieces and scaring the woman to the point of desperation. Luckily, Lisa is able to turn on the siren in the last moment, which freezes the creature by surprise, giving them the chance to run outside as the grabber begins smashing the vehicle into a pancake. The people run back towards the building immediately as Kieran tries to barricade the doors, but the bar owner is determined to fight the monster using his water gun. He tells the ecologist to light up his weapon while the man can barely walk from being so drunk, but eventually manages to light the man's water gun. The bar owner rushes outside immediately and charges towards the creature with all his might, but soon realizes that his gun doesn't work as the fire has been put out by the rain. Luckily, Kieran is able to grab onto his friend and prevents him from being killed by the monster as they rush back into the building once again. The police officer tries to stop the party as he tells everyone to head upstairs, but this backfires very quickly as the people become angry, thinking that the drinking is over. What's even worse, the ecologist has become so drunk that he decides to confront the creature by himself, while believing that he's the Irish version of Superman. The man walks outside like a stumbling penguin, while Kieran shouts for him to stop, but has trouble convincing the few brain cells that are still alive. The ecologist takes out his camera and begins taking pictures of the giant monster, while the creature grabs onto the man using its tentacles and preparing to turn him into its girlfriend. The people watch hopelessly as their friend is about to die, but the grabber is quickly repelled by the man's smell of alcohol as it knocks him away like he has COVID-19. Kieran goes inside the building and tells everyone to run, while all the people are struggling to get upstairs, not really sure about what's going on. The front door is smashed open and releasing a bunch of little creatures inside the bar, while everyone makes it onto the second floor just in time. Kieran tries to calm the people down and assures them that they're safe, as the grabbers would not eat anyone who's intoxicated by alcohol. However, Patty doesn't think that they're out of danger, as the main character was sprayed by the female grabber, turning him into a Victoria's Secret model in the eye of the monster. With no other choice, Kieran decides to lure the creature away, but quickly finds out that the only key to a working vehicle is in the kitchens downstairs. Lisa volunteers to go get the keys, but the people quickly lose faith in their plan as they see the woman roll down the stairs and barely being able to stand. She manages to get to the first floor and sees that the little creatures are partying in the bar like a bunch of evil minions. Lisa goes towards the the baby grabbers and stables them by using her nail gun while kicking the monsters across the room. The woman is able to make it towards the kitchen as she finally finds the keys on the floor. Before she can celebrate, she quickly sees the tentacles rushing inside the room, making her shoot the nail gun furiously and knocking out the power inside the building. She rushes into the lobby and tries using her lighter to see, but is knocked over by the monster as the flames quickly starts a fire inside the room. Lisa is pulled away by the massive grabber as she desperately tries to cut herself free, not wanting to become a victim in those Japanese tentacle movies. Luckily, she manages to break free in the last moment and rushes away immediately. At the same time, the people begin smelling that something is burning, and when they try to go downstairs, the fire is already blocking their exit and leaving them with nowhere to run. Thinking that the woman is in danger, Kieran has no choice but to go out from the window, but surprisingly, Lisa was able to get the truck already as she catches the man right before the monster grabs him. They rush away immediately while the giant grabber chases them closely behind, which gives everyone in the building a chance to escape. The police officers arrive into a construction site while Lisa crashes the vehicle right into the wall, and they quickly realize that the entire area is not raining at all. However, the creature appears right behind them as well, and Kieran tells the woman to run for her life as he lures the monster away, eventually making it onto a cliff. The man carefully maneuvers onto the platform and jumps towards the other side, while the monster chases right behind him and knocking over the structures. Kieran manages to get onto the roof of the building while the creature tries to look for a way to cross over. What the animal doesn't realize is that the man is trying to trick it into a trap that's filled by gasoline. Kieran taunts the creature to attack him, but the monster launches at the main character and manages to pull him onto the ground, where the man springs his leg as a result. Kieran has no choice but to grab onto the flare gun and points at the gasoline as he prepares to sacrifice himself in order to take down the enemy. Luckily, Lisa is able to drive the construction vehicle right towards the creature and pushing the grabber backwards. She eventually manages to throw the monster over the cliff and dropping the entire machine onto the creature as it traps the enemy on the ground. They both are able to climb out from the area as Lisa hands Kieran a bottle of alcohol to celebrate their victory. However, the main character is quickly grabbed onto by the enemy's tentacle, which pulls him back very quickly while the creature begins lowering the man towards its giant mouth. Lisa watches hopelessly as her friend is about to die, but Kira opens the bottle of alcohol just in time as he pours the whole thing into the creature. This causes the grabber to struggle in pain as the monster throws the man into the air, which lands him right back onto the cliff. Lisa runs towards her friend and takes out the flare gun before shooting it right at the barrels and causing a huge explosion that blows away everything on its path. When the fight is finally over, it's quickly revealed that the people from the bar have all survived, and Kieran is able to make it out alive alongside his friend as well. The man has finally decided to quit drinking after experiencing what just happened and decides to share a kiss with the woman that he loves. What the people don't realize is that the monsters have mated a long time ago as they left behind numerous eggs on the beach that are waiting to be hatched. So what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below, and if you like my videos, please press like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.